Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. So it's really an honor to be here to see you guys. And today, I think my topic is to dive into the Layer 2, especially the Zecrey Layer 2 Web3 games. And I will do a brief introduction to the Zecrey protocol firstly, and then I will introduce how Zecrey protocols empowers the Web3 games. Yeah. So we have seen, a lot of, I think, several Zecrey-based solutions are here. Zecrey Sync is in the venue, and also the Stockware has, I think, a presentation 2 hours ago. It's about StockEX. So I think the advantage of the Zecrey, again, I want to repeat the advantage of Zecrey is to safeguard users' assets and ownership by themselves. For example, if even the service provider for Zecrey is shut down, users can still withdraw their assets from the underlying mainnet network. For example, the Ethereum and the BNB chain, user can still using the layer 1 transaction to get the assets back, even if the provider is shut down. Yeah. So our solution has a vertical cases in some scenarios, but the basic fundamental, I think the most fundamental oriented is towards trading, assets trading. So I think just like the common projects, we are supporting the fungible tokens and the non-fungible tokens, and based on the assets types, we can support the transfer, swap, and all the NFT operations you can imagine in Zecrey protocol. And the advantage for the Zecrey solution is the first I mentioned is the ownership. The ownership is really important in layer 2. And I think that the transaction confirmation time is hyper fast. I think it's around, from our test, it's around 50 milliseconds. It's really fast, nearly the Web 2 API, yeah. And it's a tiny gas fee. I think it's close to 0. We will have a demo after just a demo in a slide just to see how Web3 games mint NFT for users with no gas fee. Yeah. And from another perspective of Zecrey, we are encapsulate a lot of primitives in the basic layer. You can see from the slide, we provide a transfer, swap, NFT mint, NFT buy, sell, auction, some staking features in our basic layer. And using the encapsulation, we have the 2B, I think 2B SDK and API for developers, such as the private payment, such as NFT insurance and NFT trading platform. And the upper layer will be the Zecrey application layer. And Zecrey teams has already developed a multi-chain wallet plugin and also the mobile version and some private payment method. But it still can be expanded to many scenarios, such as the NFT marketplace, yeah, something like that. And about this part, we want to talk about the architecture structure in Zecrey protocol. Yeah, we are the team. We are the, I think, Zecrey-based team, just building the whole ecosystem from the bottom to the upper. Just like we have developed the infrastructure layer in using Zecrey technology, and our SDK and API is encapsulated in the middle layer. And in the upper layer, we have our own application, and we also provide SDK to help developers to develop their own, like Web3 games, applications, yeah, for CN part. And I think one of our competitor in the ecosystem is notably the Stockware and the Immutable X. So Stockware is doing I think the last 2 layers, just the infrastructure layer, and they also encapsulate the SDK layer for the developers in Stockware ecosystem. And Immutable X, it's for developing a Web3 game. They use the SDK from the Stockware to build their own game-related SDK for the Web3 game applications. Zecrey took a different approach to build our own ecosystem, especially for the Web3 game system. We are providing our own infrastructure layer and SDK layer to the developers. So it's a little bit different, yeah. And I think Zero and Legend are our mainly mainnet of the Zecrey ecosystem. I have talked about the primitives, the architecture, yeah. And I think that Zero and Legend are some kind of like a product network. Zero is focusing on the privacy. It's our, I think it's our origin network who are focusing on the privacy. Different from Aztec or Tornado Cash, we are only focusing on the privacy payment. We are not an anonymous project. We are a privacy project. We only hide the amount from user to user, right? And I think our advantage in the Zero system is, first is the generation of the privacy proof is only milliseconds, and we use ROB to decline the privacy payment a lot transaction. You can use only 0.x dollars to pay a privacy payment, and no matter how big is your privacy transaction, it only costs I think a fixed gas fee like 0.x dollars. And the second is Legend. Legend is focusing on the it's a transparent network who are focusing on the NFT minting, NFT marketplace. Yeah. So today we are focused. I think next page is about how Web3 games built on the Zecrey Legend. The Zecrey Legend, not Zecrey Zero. Yeah. So I think Web3 games, we are providing 4 kinds of functionalities in the Zecrey SDK. The first is the account management, including the L1 and L2, for example, the address and also the public key, for the assignment. And another thing is about our Zecrey namespace. It's similar to the ENS, yeah, and including some social media user information like Discord and Twitter, yeah. And the second part is the asset management. And this part, we just mentioned the FT, the fungible tokens. We providing the payment solution and also the payment SDK and also the swap SDK. So you can build a payment system in your Web3 game and also to integrate our DEX functions in our game easily, yeah. And the third part is the NFT management. Just we showed in the I think in the right image, our NFT management can support the NFT minting, NFT query, NFT insuring, making offer, sell, withdraw, transfer, anything you can imagine in the NFT marketplace, we can support in game. And also, at the same time, we have a NFT. I think we have an NFT marketplace for game studio. Any games do not have to build their own marketplace. You don't have to reinvent their wheels, for building their own marketplace. They can just use our apps or using our API. Using, I think, some simple GraphQL query, you can get all the data you have, yeah. And the last thing is about resource storage. We can help the game developers to store some kind of like maybe media resource or content resource in the decentralized storage network like IPFS or RV. Yeah. So here's the demo for the web, our Zecrey game demo to mint NFT and showing our mobile version of the NFT marketplace. So it is I have no ideas about if you have recognized the game. It's named Browsercast. It's a very classic, Web2 web game. Users can pick up. It's open source. Users can pick up the items like sword and to fight with the monsters. It takes our team around, I think, 5 hours to integrate with the whole ecosystem. The whole, for example, the SDK and also the integration with the NFT marketplace. Yes, it's really easy. So I think here's our perspective of the Web3 games in the future. I want to talk a little bit deeply. I think think about what I mentioned. I think the core feature is about the interoperability in blockchain. I think it's the most powerful, I think most charming feature in the blockchain world. Thinking about the DeFi summer, SushiSwap has used the LP from the Uniswap, to build a finance empire in $1 billion. So And talk about the Web3 games. Zecrey team still believe that the assets and the data in game 1 can be accessed and programmed to game B. Yeah, this is really important for the Web3 future. Yeah, so this is why we want to build it in a Zecrey system, because Zecrey system can provide us a ultra low gas fee. I think the experience in Zecrey Layer 2 is really similar to maybe a GameStop. Some centralized game Web2 game station. Yeah, it's really easy. So if you have the same opinion with the Web3 games, maybe you can focusing on the Layer 2 game studio. It's a very good option. Yeah, and we have developed our marketplace in web app and also the mobile app. So users can just like our experience is just kind of like Zelda. You open a box, you pick up the sword, and what's the difference is users can see their swords in the mobile very quickly, and maybe with different properties, with different levels, and you can buy others' equipment. It's really easy to cooperate with the game. Yeah, it's really easy. And I think that's everything I have mentioned for the game part. Yeah, and let's talk about some milestones and roadmap for Zecrey. And this Monday, I think this May, we have got a strategy investment with Binance Labs, and for about $6 million. Yeah, and started to build the ZK which is an open sourced Zecrey Layer 2 in BSC system. Yeah, I think it's the first Zecrey system in BNB chain. Yeah, so this September we have open sourced the ZK and any team can build their own Layer 2 system in Binance in BNB chain. Yeah, and what's the meaning of the ZK Just kind of like, because the Layer 1 transaction has I think higher gas fee, and I think it's the latency of the transaction. For example, in BNB chain is around 6 seconds, and the TPS in BNB chain is around 2,000. Yeah, but we all know, I think in the future maybe a Web3 game, a killer Web3 games in ecosystem, that will bring maybe thousands of transactions per second. It will make Uniswap or PancakeSwap users really annoying, So we want to move some of the features, including the swap. It is related to our primitives, kind of like swap, private payment, and also the NFT related options into our ZK And if you are strong enough, if you are a strong enough team, you can maybe deploy your own Zecrey Layer 2 system. Yeah. So yeah, Zecrey Legend will be the first end-to-end Zecrey solution on BNB chain, featuring Layer 2 NFT marketplace, just as I mentioned. Yeah. And after open source the Zecrey we are focusing on releasing the Zecrey Legend testnet, I think in October. Yeah. So and after that is the mainnet, and in the last quarter we are focusing on the game SDK release. Yeah. Actually, I think Zecrey will focusing on more and more to the developer system. Like, for example, my next station will go to the Hacker MIT, DevCon, and Global, ETH Global to attracting more and more developers to develop on the I think Layer 2 ecosystem, especially in the web game. Yeah. So I think that's all for Zecrey, and thank you everyone. And if you have the same opinion with me about maybe the Web3 game in the future, maybe we can discuss in the Discord, join our community. And if you are developers, stay tuned and waiting for our announcements. Yeah, thank you very much.